G'day Crustacean Nation, SirPrawnalot here with another video. Today I'm going to be filling up this tank. I don't know if I'm going to put the fish in here today or not, but I will be moving Simba into this tank, along with some of the cherry shrimp. I want to get rid of this cube tank and put another rectangle tank like this up on this level of the rack. But to move the fish around and not to stress them out too much, I'm going to put them in this tank as I guess sort of a quarantine as well for like a week, and so the other tank can cycle in a bit. I'm also waiting on another air pump and some filters and stuff, so I don't want to obviously get ahead of myself and have a tank without a filter. So I'm going to go ahead and fill this up with water, and then I'll just whack on a hang on back filter for the moment. They won't be in this tank for long, like I said, so I'm not going to decorate it or anything. I'm not going to put any gravel in. It's just going to be bare bottom just until I get it up and going. This will mean I'll have to feed the cherry shrimp a bit more because it hasn't cycled in, but I think I'll wait a couple days before I actually put Simba and the shrimp in. So yeah, I'll go ahead and start filling this up and then I'll check back with you. So this is the dodgy little setup I've got going for my water. Usually this pipe here connects to the lower ones easily, but because this one's a bit lower and to the side, I've had to add on this little hook just to make sure it stays there. So if I cut back with water everywhere, something definitely went wrong. But I'm going to use this much rainwater, so I think that's, I want to say it's 25 litres. Or maybe more, no, 25 litres of just rainwater, so 0 TDS, and then the rest will be tap water that I'll dechlorinate. That's usually what I sort of do when I do water changes on my betta and shrimp tank. I'm not too fussed with the TDS or anything like that. I sort of just let it go, but when it comes to the Caridina tank, it's a totally different story. So I'm just going to fill this up with water, and yeah, we'll see what happens from there. So we just turn it on, and away it goes, filling up. It's not a bad way to fill it up, having the corner piece. I might keep that technique. Just got to make sure this doesn't pop off. So I have created a bit of a monster. I filled the tank up to here. It's got a fair bit off the top because I will be adding water from the betta tank, or from Simba's tank I should say. And as you can see, I've had it in this sponge. I'm a bit short on quiet sponge filters, sponges, air pumps. So I've decided to go with the latest double sponge filter that I got, with a normal pump on it, as you can see there. The pump is from that Aqua One Aqua Start, and it just goes up, does a little loop, then back into the water. I think this will work fine. It's not going to spread out or anything because it doesn't have anything on the end, so it's just going to go straight back down. And this will be fine just to get a bit of a cycle going. Just for when I add the shrimp and Simba in, I can sort of make sure that the tank is going to be fine for them. I can then leave that sponge in there and start a cycle for my shrimp tank, and then just add soil in and stuff, or work something around it like that. So it's pretty much good to go. I'm going to turn it on and test it. I'll do it all on camera, so here we go. So I'll just go ahead and plug it into one of the many holes that we have up here. And there it is, all in. We'll switch it on. It's making noise. And water is going through. I don't think that's bad flow, it's just a downward pressure, so obviously if Simba swims into it he'll probably get pushed around, but it's good enough I think. I'll test it without that little elbow and see if it shoots up or if it just goes down lightly. So I managed to get one of the smaller sponge filter heads on there. So as you can see, it's got some directional flow outwards, but it's nothing too crazy and it just sort of makes a slight movement. So that's good, you'll get the water moving all around the tank and it will be cycled pretty well. I'm going to add in some back to AE as well just to get it going, which means maybe even tomorrow I'll go ahead and whack Simba and the shrimp in here, and then when I get the chance I'll take down this tank, I'm not going to put the driftwood and the rocks in because there are snails in this tank now. As you can see, if it focuses, oh, there's one over there. Just these little guys. As you can see from these two, they're breeding like crazy. And it's not great. If you know me, I'm not a huge fan of snails. I don't like snails that just breed like crazy. It's a bit of a pain. So I'm going to be pretty much nuking this tank with no planaria. No planaria kills obviously planaria worms and other worms like that, but it also kills snails. So I'm going to go ahead and do that in this tank, obviously once everything's out of there. So hopefully no snails come across. I don't think there's any snails in here yet, which means that'll be the last tank to clean out. I do believe it's because I put my driftwood outside in a pond full of snails, which, you know, would make sense that, you know, you'd have that issue. So yeah, that's about it for today's video. I thought it'd be a little interesting thing. I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. Obviously it doesn't have a heater. I will add in a heater probably the day I do the big changing and stuff. I may even just take the heater out of there and put it in here and then let them sort of cool down and heat up, and then when they're at the same temperature I'll swap them around. But yeah, until then, I'll catch you.